So, a very warm welcome to everyone for this EIS and SM journey. We are going to start with paper number 7, and paper number 7 is basically divided into two parts. You all know this, that part A is EIS, which is basically Enterprise Information Systems, and part B is your strategic management. Okay, so I hope you all are aware of the marks distribution. Yes. Yeah, you are not aware. Okay, so the marks distribution, EIS is of 50 marks and SM is also of 50 marks. Okay, so now before we begin with the paper, begin with the subject, I am just going to give you a brief idea about the paper pattern, that kind of question paper that you can expect in the examination for this particular subject. And with this, after understanding this, before we again start with the main subject, we need to first realize as to why this particular subject has been incorporated in our CS syllabus, right? So we are going to understand why EIS, okay, and then we are going to perhaps start with our journey, okay, start with our course. All right, so EIS and SM, if you all can see here, what I've done is, this is your paper number 7, okay, and EIS is of 50 marks, which is part A, and SM is of 50 marks, which is part B. Now in this part A, first I'm going to discuss the part A, EIS. Again, you can see, again there are two parts in the question paper. Okay, so part 1 will be your MCQ, which consists of 15 marks for EIS. So out of 15 marks, 15 is for MCQs, okay, and the balance 35 marks is going to be the subjective part. Okay, so part 2 is basically your subjective, which will be of course 35 marks. Okay, now under part 2 also we have got generally 5 questions are asked, and question number 1 is compulsory. Okay, so this is the question that is compulsory in nature, and out of the remaining 4 questions we have to solve basically any three. Okay, so what happens is, now generally the pattern which I'm going to discuss is actually being followed by ICI in the recent terms. Okay, so this question number 1 is of 5 marks, which consists of 2 parts. It consists of 2 parts. Generally part A they ask for 3 marks, or part B they ask for 2 marks. So question number 1, which is compulsory in nature, is of 5 marks. Okay, and question 2, 3, 4 and 5, basically each question is of 10 marks. And the pattern which they are asking currently is basically one question will be of 6 marks and the other one will be of 4 marks. So one question 6 marks and the other one will be of 4 marks. So you have to basically answer any 3 questions out of the given 4 questions. Okay, so this is basically the EIS portion. Similar to this, we have a strategic management part again in this subject, and SM also, if you can see that we have 2 parts here in SM. One is again part 1, which is MCQ 15 marks, and again part 2 is basically question. We have 5 questions here. Question number 6 again, which is of 5 marks. This is compulsory. Okay, this is a 5 mark question. One question they ask of 5 mark. And again, out of questions 7, 8, 9 and 10, you have to basically solve 3 questions. Okay, and each question under, let's say question number 7, we have got 2 parts, A and B. So each one of it carries 5 marks. So this is the current trend which is actually followed by ICI with respect to the examinations. Okay, so again we have to solve any 3 out of the given 4 questions. So this is, guys, the exam pattern. This is how the paper is actually asked in the exam. Okay, now the good part about this subject is that we have 30 marks as MCQ in this particular subject. Okay, so if you understand the concepts really well, you'll be able to score good marks in this particular area. 30, if you score, if your concepts are clear, if you score 20 plus 25 around out of 30, it is going to be very easy for you to score an exemption in this particular paper. All right, so the remaining 70 marks is going to be subjective portion. Of course, we are going to understand each and every concept in thoroughly, very detailed manner. And of course, I'll tell you how you have to present the answers in the exam, how you have to, learn a bit for writing purpose in the exam. Okay, and we are strictly going to adhere to our ICI material. The book which you must have got, I believe you must all have got this particular book. This is strictly based on ICI pattern. Of course, I have organized the topics into a much better sequence, and I have reorganized some of the topics, but again, all the headings, everything we are going to strictly follow as per ICI material. Okay, and at the end of each particular topic, we are going to cover a lot of questions also that has already been asked, or which can be asked, or maybe the questions which are there in your RTP, in your MTPs, all those we are going to cover. Okay, all right. So this is, guys, all about the question paper pattern of EIS and SM subject. Okay, now yes, we are going to start. First, let us understand the subject's name. Okay, in our lecture, we are going to first cover the EIS portion, and then we are going to cover up the strategic management part, the SM portion. So EIS is relatively, the content of EIS is relatively more, and we are going to take more time in EIS as compared to strategic management. You must have seen, you must have felt same by seeing the size of the books that you must have got. Okay, so EIS content wise, it is a bit more as compared to strategic management. All right, now yes, so before again we dive into the subject, all right, I need to discuss few aspects with you. All right, so we are first going to understand the name of the subject. Okay, so the name, short form is EIS. Okay, what does it mean? It means the name is basically Enterprise Information, and the word here is Enterprise Information Systems. Okay, now again, before taking off, or before we start with the subject, let us first discuss the meaning of the subject. Then I'm going to tell you why do we have to study the subject, and then perhaps we shall be in a good position, to start with the chapters. Okay, so I want all of you to be fully attentive. The ones who are going to watch the recorded versions, I want you to maintain consistency when you're watching the videos. Okay, just watch it with a great discipline and great consistency, and trust me, guys, this is going to be one of the most interesting subjects, and by the end of the lectures you are going to feel that, yeah, this subject is in your grasp. You are going to have that confidence that yes, you are going to score well in this particular subject. Okay, all right, so let us understand the meaning of the subject first. The name of the subject, let us understand it. Okay, so firstly I'm going to take up the word systems. Okay, and this actually being a live class, I would want everyone to be participative. Okay, or else what is the advantage of taking the live session? All right, so whenever I ask you something, please unmute your mic and please speak up. Okay, all right, so three words are there: enterprise, information, and systems. Okay, so first let us understand the word system. Okay, can anyone answer what systems can be? What do you mean by the word system? Can anyone answer? I just want to understand your knowledge level. What do you mean by the word system? Yes, Surya, Bharti, Sanjeet. Yeah, please, anyone. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, someone is saying that systems by systems, it means that we automate all the processes or automate all the trivial tasks. Okay, all right. Any more? I want to understand the generic meaning of the term system. Very generalized meaning of the word system. Can it? Okay, a group of similar characteristics or qualities. Okay, great. All right, so all right, yeah, first of all, let me just tell you, if I want to discuss the generic meaning of the word system, it has got nothing to do with computers. Okay, system can be anything. It can be collection of objects. Okay, first thing that you have to understand is it can be collection of objects, okay, that operate collectively. They operate collectively, perhaps to accomplish some common goal or objective. Okay, so just let us take the example of anything. Okay, there's an AC right here. Okay, air conditioner. Now this air conditioner, it has got multiple parts in it. Okay, all those parts, they work in coordination, they work in conjunction to obviously with a basic objective in mind. Okay, and what is that objective? Okay, that it has to cool this particular room, right? So AC, do you all agree with this, that AC is a system? Do you all agree with this, that the air conditioner that I have right here, it is a system? Yes. So again, when I discuss system, guys, please remember, it is collection of objects. It can be collection of, different things. Okay, but these different things, they need to work collectively, they need to work together, they need to work in coordination so as to achieve some sort of common objective or goal. Okay, now going by this definition, is a human body also a system? Yes or no? Yes. Yeah. Do you think human body is a system? Yes, you must have read about this in your junior school, or maybe in your 7th 8th standard in your science subject, that yes, we have this human body is a system. It consists of a lot of things, a lot of organs, a lot of cells and nerves, and what all we have. So they work collectively to accomplish one common objective, that we can survive, we can live. Okay. Similarly, if I again bifurcate our human body, we have, we must remember the word, we have a separate system as nervous system, then we have circulatory system. Okay, so system is, please understand it again, that collection of things, collection of objects or things that work collectively to accomplish a particular goal or objective. Okay, now again, solar system. Again, you must have heard this word solar system. Don't you think again it is a system? That is why they are calling it as solar system. Is it a system or not? And why is it a system? If you say yes, then why is it a system? Can anyone answer this? Yes, Pranav, you are trying to answer. Yeah. Okay, yes, solar system, again, if you see, we have got a sun in between, and there are 8 planets. Earlier it was 9, now perhaps it is 8. Okay, so there are some planets and they revolve around the sun in one particular, let's say, pattern. So we call it as a system. Okay, so again, guys, please understand, last time I'm repeating this, that system is collection of objects. Okay, and these objects ultimately, they work in coordination, they work in conjunction to achieve some goal or objective. Okay, is your school a system? Was your school a system? Yes, the school is a system or not? If you are in 2nd standard, they take your exams, and they, there is a system that if you pass, they promote you to 3rd standard, and all this way you go up to, let's say, 10th standard, 11th standard, whatever it goes. There's a particular system. You are not never promoted directly from 2nd standard to 10th standard. Yes, so again, school is a system. All right, so now coming back to this definition, enterprise information system. All right, I told you in very basic layman's language that what is a system? Collection of objects, collection of things that work in coordination to achieve some goal or objective. Okay, now again, this was just a generic meaning of the word system. Now let us understand the word information, and then once you understand the word information, we are going to collectively discuss the two words. Okay, all right, so can anyone answer now, what do you mean by information? Absolutely, Nandana, you are correct. A useful data. And having said that, Nandana, can you also explain to me that what do you mean by data? You have just answered that information means useful data. That is 100% correct. But what do you mean by data then? Yes, can anyone answer this? Perfect. Raw information is data. So now, all right, so you all know this. Now, in order to understand the word information, there is a prerequisite that you need to understand the word data. Okay, and data is basically raw facts and figures or information, or I can say unorganized facts. Okay, and when we process the data and derive something meaningful out of the data, we get information. Okay, maybe you all are confused, so let me just give you an example. Okay, now okay, I'll just give you this example. Okay, let's say example number 1 here. I'll give you certain data of history of temperature readings all over the world for past 20 years. I'll give you the temperature readings of, let's say, one particular city of last 20 years. So imagine that the data size is going to be huge. 20 years into 365 days a week, 365 days in a year, the data, the size of the data is going to be huge. Okay, and let's say I give it to you, this is the data. What is going to happen? You are just going to see, okay, this day this was the temperature, okay, this day this was the temperature. You are not going to derive any, meaningful information out of it. Alright, so this is just a raw fact, this is just a raw information to you. Okay, but if you analyze this data, if you process this data, if you organize this data, you might get something which is called as information. And now in this particular example, if I let's say organize this information, this data, or let's say if I analyze this data, if I process this data, maybe I'll conclude something like this, that global temperature is rising. Now this is an information, merely by seeing the data, perhaps we are not going to derive anything out of it. Okay, so once we have the data, we need to organize it, we need to analyze it, we need to process it to derive something which we called as information. Okay, so now global temperature is rising. Perhaps this is an information to you. Why is this information to you? This is going to help you in making or taking decisions. Hence it is called as information. Please understand this, guys, that data doesn't help you to take or make decisions unless you process it, unless you analyze it, unless you organize it and come up with certain information. Okay, so before going to other examples, I hope this is clear to everyone that out of data and information, which is it that assists the managers, let's say, to take decisions? Out of data and information. Yes, can anyone answer this? Obviously, information. Information is the answer. Information is something which assists the managers in an organization to take or make decisions. Okay, so as a manager or as a person, you would be always more interested in some kind of information which is going to assist you in decision making. Okay, again let me take you through a good example. Okay, so let's say that there is a particular share, a company share in which you are interested. Okay, and I give you the share price of that particular company for last 10 years. I give you a report, and this is the report again. Alright, just by seeing the report, perhaps you will not be able to decide whether you have to invest in this particular company or you should refrain, let's say, from investing. You will not be able to decide if I give you the raw data. But perhaps if you process the data, let's say if you use computers or an Excel and you input all the data and then you derive something meaningful out of it, then it is going to help you in deciding, okay, the trend is upwards, perhaps I should invest now, it is going to go further up. Okay, so market data of a company's share price over a period of 10 years, let's say, if I just give it to you, it is not going to be of no use to you. It is just a raw data to you. But if you organize this data, if you analyze this data, perhaps it is going to give you something like this. And this is nothing but summarized informative graph that shows price over time. Now if this is a graph that you have, okay, of last 10 years, summarized graph, it is going to help you in making decisions whether you want to, if you already have the share, should you be, let's say, selling it off, or if you want to make an investment, should you be buying the shares or not. Okay, so guys, please remember, now what is data and information? Let us now make it further, let us clear it up. Okay, so what I've done here is, if you can see here, we have data. Okay, and data is nothing but raw facts. It is unorganized. I can write in this way also. It is nothing but raw facts. Okay, and this data, when we, let's say, generally what happens is, this particular data we enter into the systems, right, and the systems does all the processing. Okay, and once the data is processed, we get something which we call it as information, and this information is basically called as process data, or some data which is basically meaningful and useful. And because it is meaningful and useful, I should say it is information which assists managers or people in taking or making decisions. Okay, so if you want, you can just draw it, and the ones who are gonna watch the recorded lectures, you can just pause in between and take a note of it. It's very, very simple. All right, so we have data, and then the data is processed, or let's say analyzed or organized, to get something that we called as information. Okay, all right, so now I hope you are clear what information means. All right, now having understood this, let us go back to the term and understand information systems together now. We are going to understand the word information systems together, because the subject's name is what? The subject's name is EINS. So we have covered the word systems, we have covered the word information. Now let us understand the word information systems together. Okay, all right. Now, in very layman's terms, if I make you understand, okay, any system which takes in data, okay, understand it very clearly. Any system which takes in data, processes it, and gives you information is called as information system. Do you all agree with this? Any system which takes in data, processes it, and gives you information so that you are able to make or take decisions, then it is going to be called as information system. Do you all agree with this? That's very, very simple, meaning of the word information system. All right. Now, okay. So any system basically which through which some information is generated, which is ultimately going to help people or managers in taking decisions, that can be called as information system. All right. Now, a lot of organizations, they use computers to make or take decisions. So can a computer be information system? Can a computer be an information system? Yes or no? Yes? Okay, I got two answers. Yeah. Okay. All right. So, okay, so we have answers. Yes, Sanjeet, Visagan, they are saying that, okay, because it helps us in generating information. It obviously, computers is an information system as well. All right. Now, most of you think that when I say information systems, it is only computers. All right. Now, can information system be manual in nature? Let's say there is no computer, but if we don't have any computers, let's say, can there be an information system? What do you have to say about this? Yes, Krishnan is saying that yes, we can have manual information systems also. Yes, Visagan, what are you saying? Can you just repeat it again? Okay, all right. He's asking, can we take books as an example? Now let me put it in a very simple manner. Okay, let's say I work in an organization. Okay, and it is an era. Let's say around 1930s or 1940s, when we did not have any systems, we did not have any computers. Okay. Now I work for a company, and the manager there has asked me to make a report of the entire sales that took place on a particular date. Okay, let's say we are about to close our office, but the manager wants me to make a report and present it to him, that whatever sales we had from morning till evening, including the quantity and the amount. Let's say he wants me to prepare a report and give it to him. So what I do is I take a paper and a paper, and let's say I draw certain lines, and I write particulars, I write the product name, I write the quantity, I write the amount, and then I write total. Okay, and this way there are 20-30 let's say transactions, and I put it in a paper, and total sales is this much for the day, and I present the same to my manager before we actually close the office. Okay, now this particular piece of whatever it is, okay, this piece of information or maybe this piece of data on that particular piece of paper which I have presented to the manager, don't you think it is going to serve as an information to that manager? Yes or no? He just wanted to know perhaps that how much sales that we have made on a particular day, and if we have made a handsome amount of sale, which products were, let's say, sold the most. Perhaps he wants to analyze this. So he told me that you prepare a daily sales report. I prepared it and I've handed it over to him. Now he's going to analyze and he's going to look at it, and perhaps he's going to make or take his marketing decisions or any other decisions based on this report. So can I call this system of manually making a report and giving it to my manager, is this also an information system or not? Yes, do you think it is an information system? Yes, absolutely. So what I'm trying to tell you is it fine now? No, I think there's some issue with your network, because your voice is also cracking. I'm able to hear rest of the students, but I think yes. Am I audible to everyone, guys? All right. Okay. So Yeah. Okay. Thank you. All right. So yes. So please remember, guys, coming back to the example, that whenever you hear the word information system, don't take it as that, okay, when I talk about information system, there has to be a computer, or there has to be, your laptop or desktop, whatever it is. Information system simply means that when you process data and give information, this is an information system, and it can be manual also in nature. All right. Okay. But now, because we are in such an era where, almost every business house, they use computers, they initiate all their transactions through the system, they record all their entries through the system. Perhaps in this particular subject, the information system that we are going to focus more upon is the technology portion, is not the manual information system, but obviously the automated information systems, the technology related information systems we are going to discuss. Okay. Now, all right, again, I believe you have understood the word system, you have understood the word information, we have collectively understood the word information systems also. Now, let us try and understand the three words together now. Enterprise information system. What is enterprise information system? We are going to cover this now. But before again I take up this particular aspect, okay, I need to discuss a case kind of thing with you. Okay, so yes, we have a scenario here. Okay, and if you can see, there is a company here, A Limited. Okay, and A Limited has got four functions. Okay, let's say just a hypothetical example that A Limited here has got 4 functions, as you all can see on the screen. First is finance and accounting. Okay, we have finance and accounting. Then let's say we have marketing and production. All right, then A Limited has got sales and marketing. Then they have human resource also. Okay, and it's a good company. It's a big company with all these functions. Okay, and they have information systems. Let's say they use computers, or they have their own information systems. Now what happens is, each of these functions of this particular company, it has got its own information system. Let's say the finance and accounting function of A Limited, they are using information system number 1. The manufacturing and production function of A Limited, they are using information system number 2. The sales and marketing function of A Limited, they are using information system number 3. And similarly, the human resource function, they are using information system number 4. As you can see, guys, here that each of the functions here, they are using their own respective information system. Maybe it is a software or their computers, whatever it can be. Okay, so they are using their own information systems. Now what happens is, in this kind of an environment, in this kind of an organization, what happens is different information systems are used to serve different functions. Okay, perhaps let's say finance and accounting, they must be using a system to maintain their books of accounts, to maintain their PL, to maintain their balance sheet. Okay, information system 2, it is being used by production and manufacturing teams, so they must be concerned with the availability of raw material, whether the labor is available, whether the production is taking place properly or not. All these things will be catered by information system number 2. Similarly, information system number 3 will focus on the sales and the marketing aspect. Okay, so different information systems are being used by the different function. There is no problem about it. Okay, but what happens, guys, as and when an organization grows, all right, because they have different information systems, okay, for each of the function, I can say there will be lack of coordination. There will be lack of coordination between or amongst these functions. Why? Because they're using different information systems for different functions. Okay, so what happened, if this is the case that all the functions are using different information systems, what will be the problem that A Limited is going to face? Now let us understand this. Okay, so what happens here is, I have just written a note for you. It was difficult for the managers to assemble information in order to present an overall picture of the organization's operations. Okay, because these functions are using different information systems, it was difficult for the managers, to present an overall picture of the entire organization as to the functioning of the entire organization, whether the business they are doing it is they are doing it in a proper manner or not, whether it is done in a controlled manner or not. It was very difficult for them to assemble all this information, okay, and take a firm-wide decision. They were not in a position to take a decision for the entire firm as a whole. They were able to make decisions, but information system number 1, the information which is it is going to give it to us, okay, give the managers. The information is going to help only, you know, the finance and accounting department. The information system 2, the kind of information it generates, it is going to help only manufacturing and production department. So what the problem was that is basically that the managers were not able to, you know, take a firm-wide decision. They were only able to take decisions with respect to their functions. Okay, so this was a drawback. This was a drawback which many companies were facing. I'll just give you an example which is going to make things more clear to you. Okay, now let's say I'm a sales manager, I'm a salesperson. Okay, my work is to go out to the market physically and take orders, okay, from prospective customers. I approach prospective customers, I show them the products, I basically try to convince them to buy the products. This is my job. Okay, so generally what I do is I come to the office, let's say at 9:30 in the morning. Okay, I just put in my attendance and then I go out of the office to visit all the prospective clients or customers. Okay, so one fine day what happened is, let's say I went to a client of a prospective client and he gave me a very big order. Okay, and because the order was, let's say, very big, I told him that, okay, yes, we assure you, sir, that we are going to deliver your order within, let's say, 5 days. 5 days. Okay, I was very happy on getting the order because obviously I'll be getting certain incentives on the order and all. I was very happy. And during the closing, I went back to my office, very excited, you know, that I am going to tell this, that I have got a very big order to my manager and he's going to be super happy. Okay, so the moment I entered the manager's cabin and I told him that yes, I have grabbed this big order. Okay, he was not at all happy. He was in a shock and, you know, he did something like this: what have you done? You have given commitment of such a big order in the next 5 days. Okay, did you even ask the production team if they are available? Did you even ask the production or manufacturing team whether they have the raw material to manufacture and deliver such a huge order? You just got the order. Did you even ask? Okay, so this was the problem. What happened is, I was into the sales team. I did not bother about what manufacture and production is going to do. How will they, you know, produce such a big quantity of whatever product we are manufacturing in such a short period of time? I did not think about it, but rather my viewpoint was very, I should say, narrow. It was restricted to only my department, that okay, we have to increase the sales. I'll get more incentive if I am helping the organization to increase the sales. All right. So this was the problem, guys. And I got the order only to realize that the manufacturing and production team, they don't have the raw material. At no cost they'll be able to, you know, fulfill the order in the next 5 days. So again, if something like this happens in the organization, don't you think it is going to bring down our credibility? It is going to hamper, or it is going to basically hamper our goodwill in the market, right? So this was a problem. There was lack of coordination in this kind of environment. Each department is using an information system, no doubt about it, but there was a lack of coordination. Okay, so in order to, you know, overcome this problem, now what is happening is, I'll give you an idea about that. Okay, in order to overcome this issue, what has now happened is, we have a system like this, a system of this nature now. As you all can see, that we have a central database now. Now what database actually means, I'll teach you later, but I hope you must have heard about this word. You must have come across this word database. Okay, so database for the timing, in layman's terms, if I say, I can just put it in this way, that where all the data is kept for the timing. Okay, so what is happening here is, in this kind of system, if you can see, we have a centralized database. That means all the data is there in one place, and all the functions of the organization that I just discussed, all the functions of A Limited that I just discussed, are going to be connected to these database. Okay, so if you can see on the diagram, we have finance and accounting connected to the central database. We have the HR department connected. We have marketing and production, manufacturing and production connected to the central database. And we also have the marketing and sales connected to the central database. Now what is going to happen if we follow this kind of approach? If this approach is followed, you know, the database is centralized. Each of the functions will be able to see the data. Okay, so now the marketing person, before he actually confirms, an order, he might be in a position, to check on the raw materials availability. He might be in a position to, let's say, communicate with the production team whether, they'll be able to fulfill, they'll be able to produce the said order or not. So in this way, what is going to happen, the coordination between the functions, is it going to, be better or not? Yes or no? The coordination amongst all the functions in the organization, is it going to improve or not? Yes. And if the coordination improves, okay, don't you think it is going to lead to better decision making in the organization? Earlier, Nandana, earlier what was happening, each department was only focused on their information systems, and they had their very myopic and very narrow view of their particular department. They were not thinking about the entire organization as a whole. But now, if we have this kind of system where, let's say, we have a centralized database and each of the functions will be able to access all the data, now the decisions can be taken for the organization as a whole. All right. So now, why have I discussed this with you, guys? Because this is something that I called as enterprise information system. Okay. In this example, we discussed that yes, these are information systems. These are only information systems, and these information systems cater to their respective functions. But now I'm going to discuss about a particular information system. There is one information system, and all the functions now can be connected to that particular system or that particular database, right? Now this kind of environment, I'll call it as EIS, Enterprise Information System, a system which caters to the entire enterprise, a system which links all the enterprise's functions together. It is called as Enterprise Information System. Okay, so if you want to distinguish between an information system and an enterprise information system, the key word, guys, that you have to understand is Enterprise Information System. In EIS, in Enterprise Information System, there is integration. There is integration of different functions of an organization. Okay, this integration was not present in case of this scenario. You can see that they have different information system, but there is no coordination, there is no integration between them, amongst the functions, right? But in EIS, please understand the key, the simple meaning of the word EIS is a single integrated system. This is the main word, and because of this word, because of this integration aspect, we call it as Enterprise Information System, because it integrates all the departments, all the functions of an organization into one system. So that is why we call it as Enterprise Information System, an information system which caters to the entire enterprise. Okay, an information system which integrates all the functions of an enterprise. It is called as Enterprise Information System. Okay, and if a particular organization uses EIS, what happens? I have written it very clearly here. EIS can replace multiple independent information systems. If we have one EIS in the organization, it can replace multiple independent information systems. Like for example, in this case, what was happening? We had 4 information systems. We had 4 independent information systems, right? You can see you all can see in the diagram here. But now, if we replace this by EIS, okay, what happens is EIS basically replaces all these independent softwares or systems, and it says EIS can replace multiple independent information systems that may not interact with each other. They were not interacting with each other, so that was a problem. And with the introduction of EIS, this problem has been resolved. EIS focuses on integration. Is this clear to everyone? Is this clear to everyone? That what enterprise information systems mean? Okay, we'll read the the definition also that is given in the book, but let us first try and understand it. Okay, now I'll give you a few more examples. Okay, now let's say I am from the city of Guwahati in Assam. Okay, and let's say I have my bank account in Union Bank of India. Okay, in one particular branch of Guwahati. Now at this moment, I am not in Guwahati. I am giving this lecture from Jaipur. Okay, I couldn't come down to Chennai to take your sessions because of the pandemic. So I'm in Jaipur right now. I'm taking sessions live from Jaipur. Okay, now if let's say I want to withdraw some money or maybe deposit some more money, let's say in my account, Can I go to the Union Bank of India, Jaipur's nearest branch, whichever is there from my place, and inquire about my account balance, or let's say deposit cash in my account? What do you have to say on this? Can I go to the nearest? Yes, I can go. So my account is in Guwahati branch of Union Bank, but I am right now in at Jaipur, and if I go to Union Bank, any of the branches in Jaipur of Union Bank, they will perhaps be able to tell me my account balance. I can deposit my money in this particular branch. I don't need to go to the main branch, the wherein I have my account. Okay, so how do you think? Or let's say if I come down to Chennai also sometimes to take live sessions, what happens? I can go to any bank, any branch of Union Bank, or maybe any ATM, and withdraw or deposit money. Yes or no? Yes, this happens. Why do you think this is possible? This is possible because the bank now, the Union Bank, is keeping all its data in a central location. The data is kept in a centralized database, and all the branches across India are able to access this particular data. So can I call it as an EIS? The software which Union Bank is using right now, can I call it as EIS? Do you think there is integration in the bank's operations? All the branches are integrated. You can approach any branch and go and work. Yes or no? Yes. So because there is integration, can I call the software which let's say Union Bank must be using as an EIS? Yes. All right. Okay. So yeah. So the software which particularly a bank uses, let's say it is also a enterprise information system. I'll give you a few more examples. Okay. All right. Let's say I bought a particular t-shirt. I bought a particular t-shirt while flying to Jaipur in Guwahati. I bought it in Guwahati. Okay. And because I was in a rush, let's say, I couldn't try it. Okay. And when I reached Jaipur, I unpacked everything. I thought of let's try the t-shirt. Okay. And when I tried, it was too loose for me. Okay. I did not find the size correct. Okay. And I wanted to return it. Okay. So what I did is I went to that particular brand's showroom in Jaipur, okay, along with the bill, and they told me yes, it can be returned here. So immediately what they did is they checked on the details. They entered something into the system, and they checked whether the bill is correct or not, when it was purchased, everything. Okay. I made the purchase in Guwahati, but now they are able to access the same in the Jaipur showroom also. All right. Can I say that this is also an example of EIS? Yes, they have integrated again here. They have integrated all their branches. Okay. And because of this, I can return the t-shirt here also. They are going to refund me or give me a credit note in the Jaipur showroom. No problem about it. Why is it possible? Because now all their data is maintained, in a central database, and hence we can call it as enterprise information system. If you go back to the old days when, let's say, the concept of EIS was not there, perhaps Guwahati showroom was also maintaining all its data in the system. Jaipur showroom is also maintaining all its data in the system, but there was no connectivity, there was no coordination, there was no integration between the two. So how would the Jaipur branch or showroom know that, okay, I am a particular customer of the Guwahati branch? I might just give him a fake invoice also, right? So now with the coming up of EIS, and with the integration of different branches and different functions, this has been possible, and it is so much convenient for us as customers. We can just go anywhere and deposit money if it is a bank, or maybe return our products if they are using EIS. Okay. So please remember, guys, that the key word that I want all of you to understand is that EIS is single integrated system. When I say enterprise information system, it is single integrated system. Okay. So what all definitions have we covered, guys? As of now, I have covered 4 definitions with you. I covered the word system. Okay. I covered the word data. I covered the word information, and then I covered the word enterprise information system. Okay. Now we are just going to quickly go through the definitions that is there in our book quickly. Okay. They are not going to ask you the definitions as such in the exams, but let us go through the definitions quickly. Okay. And if you want to check the definitions of these particular words, I want all of you to come to chapter number 3A. 3A is information system concepts, but we are not going to discuss the name of the chapter now. Here is what the chapter name is, but yes, few words in the basics portion we are going to cover from this portion. Okay, this is chapter number 3. So let us just quickly go through the word data. It says data consists of the raw facts. I told you this, that data is raw facts. Okay, and yeah, data is the raw material in the production of information. Do you all agree with this? Data is the raw material in the production of information. Okay, so data is like, you know, raw material, and when you process it, you get the output in the form of information. Okay, if you are not able to understand this, perhaps you know, this diagram is going to help you. Data, it is the raw material. Now this data can be considered as raw material. Okay, it is then processed and we get information as our finished product. Now this is our finished product, finished material or finished goods. Okay, and it is the information, guys, that assists the managers, you know, in taking, or let's say making decisions. So it assists managers in making decisions. All right, I hope the definition is clear. Very, very simple. All right, now having understood the definition of data, let us understand the word information now. Okay, so it says information is the data. Obviously it is the data, but then it has been put in a meaningful and useful context. Okay, just remember these two words about information, that when we put data into meaningful and useful context, okay, then it can be called as information. And when I say that you put data and make it meaningful, it is going to help you in decision making. Okay, so analysis of data is done to obtain information. Okay, if you just want to write one more point, it is the information that you can also write, it helps in decision making. Okay. All right, so yes, we have covered the word data here. We have covered the definition of information. Now let us understand the word system. Just one point we are going to cover up. It says, again, I told you when we were discussing system, what is system? System is collection, or maybe collection of things, or maybe components, or maybe parts that operate collectively, that work together to accomplish one common goal or objective. Okay, so let us understand the word system. A system is defined as multiple parts or components, or you can also say collection of parts or components or things. Okay, they work together for a common purpose or goal. They work together in order to accomplish some common goal or objective. If you wish to write, you can write the examples also, the examples that we discussed. Okay, so I told you that our human body is a system. Human body. Okay, I told you about solar system. All right, then I told you that school is also a system, so you have a school system. All right, so multiple components, multiple parts, they work together to accomplish certain common goal or objective. It has nothing to do with computers, guys. If we talk only about the word system, it has got nothing to do with computers. All right, okay. Now, what is information system? Information system, okay. All right, let's read the first definition here. Information system, what is the definition that we discuss in layman's terms? A system which takes in data, and gives you output. It gives you information as output. It can be called as information system. Okay, so information system, it says it is a combination of, people, hardware, software, communication devices, network, and data that processes data and information. All of you, please be careful here. For the time being, I just want you to first understand that any system that processes the data and gives information is an information system. Okay, any system which processes data and gives you information is called as an information system. But as I told you guys that in our subject, we are going to focus more on information systems, which is related to technology, which is related to computers, which is related to automation. So in this particular definition, they have just mentioned that information, it is a system of people. There are 5 words. We are going to cover this up. In chapter 3, we are going to understand each of these 5 words. That it is a combination of people, point number 1. Hardware, I hope you all know what hardware means. Okay. Software, communication devices or networks, that means how are we going to, now Guwahati branch and Jaipur branch, how are they connected? How do you think? There is a network or not? Even if there is one central database, don't you think all the systems are connected through some network? It may be an internet, it may be their own network. Do you agree with this? Yes, okay. So information system, it is a combination of people, hardware, software, network, and data. 5 points. These are the 5 components of information system. See the name of the chapter, it says information system components, and this entire chapter 3A we are going to cover up the 5 components. What are the 5 components of information system? Again, people, hardware, software, data and network. Okay, we are going to cover this later in this chapter itself. Okay, now yes, so in simple words guys, what is information system? If I again put it in this way, information system, you know, we input data, and if it is an information system, it is going to give us what? Information. So to any information system, data, you know, is the input and information is the output. Do you all agree with this? Yes, is it clear to everyone? All right, great, awesome. All right, now all this definition, please, you know, don't be worried. They are not going to ask you in the exam that what is data, write something about data. No. Okay, the whole agenda of making you go through these definitions is basically so that you understand what EIS means. And in this entire page, if I feel something is important that you should be knowing, is this enterprise information system. Just one definition, we have to cover it up. Okay, now how they have presented the definition, let us understand. It says an EIS is an information system. Of course, it is an information system that improves the functions of an enterprise. It improves all the functions of the enterprise. How? It says by integration. So when an organization uses something called as EIS, you know, their overall functioning of the enterprises improves. Why? Because all the functions now will have proper coordination, will have, you know, integration amongst themselves. Okay, so what is EIS? Let me just repeat the definition once or twice so that you are able to remember it. Okay, so EIS is an information system, first part. Okay, and it says that it helps in improving the functioning of the enterprise. It helps in improving the functions of an organization. How? By the process of integration. Okay, so first thing guys, the key word that should strike in your minds when you go through the word EIS, when you come across this word EIS, is the word integration. Okay, so please remember, an information system which integrates all the functions of an organization is an enterprise information system. Okay, now it says, again, one more point, I'm going to cover it up here. An EIS provides a single system. Again, when I say EIS, will there be a single system or not? If you are able to recall the example that I gave you of A Limited, earlier there were multiple information systems, yes or no? For each of the functions there were different independent information systems, yes or no? Yes, but what happened when they implemented EIS? There was one single system. So please guys remember this point. EIS provides, this is a very important point, single system that is central to the organization, that ensures information can be shared across all the functional levels and management hierarchies. So information can be shared across all the functional levels. That means, this simply means, okay, few things I'll just write it down here. That EIS firstly means that it integrates. Okay, and then secondly, you just remember that it is a single system. Okay, and because of this is a single system which is central to the organization, which can be accessed by everyone. Okay, now when I say by everyone, it simply means it can be accessed by all functions, be it research and development, be it marketing and sales, be it manufacturing and production, be it accounting and finance, be it logistics, be it HR, be it IT, information technology. All the departments, all the functions will be able to access it, first point. And at the same time, it can be accessed by all the management hierarchies. Let's say we have a top level management, we have middle level management, we have subordinates, we have lower level management. Everyone will be able to access it. Okay, obviously different managers will have different kinds of access rights. Some might be having more access, some might be having less access. But what I'm trying to tell you is, because of EIS, there will be one single system, first point. Second point, information will be shared across the organization, across all the functions and all the levels of management. Okay, so this is what EIS means. Again, I'm repeating the definition, guys. So EIS is a type of information that improves the functions of an enterprise by the process of integration. Okay, secondly, it is single system, okay, which focuses on sharing of information across all the functions of the management, all the functions of the organization and all the levels of the management. So when I say functions, it is basically horizontal in nature, and when I say levels of management, it is basically top down. Okay, we are going to discuss that in details in later parts of the course. Okay, so now this is what EIS means. Okay, now coming to let me just give you a few examples. Okay, now when I say about EIS, let me just give you a few examples here. Okay, now I gave you the example of a bank, that I am the customer of Union Bank and I can access my accounts in Jaipur branch also. Can anyone tell me this, that what kind of software does a bank use? Do you have any idea on this? Can anyone answer this? Yes, Pranav. Okay, Logesh, you are saying core banking system. Absolutely, you're correct. Okay, all right. Okay, so Logesh has just answered that the software which banks use. Okay, see, EIS is a generic term. It is a generic term. Okay, and under EIS there can be many different kinds of software. So let's say a particular software which banks use, it can be called as core banking system or core banking solutions. Okay, now can anyone give an example of core banking systems? Have you heard about any software, any vendor who produces or who manufactures core banking systems, core banking software or solutions? Sorry? No, I think you're not audible enough. Please, can you? Yeah, please, Pranav, tell me. Okay, I'm really sorry, I'm not able to get your answer. Okay, so you must have heard about Finacle, which is actually manufactured by which is actually a product of Infosys. Okay, and we similarly have many different softwares. Okay, so let's say Union Bank, they are using Finacle. Now Finacle is an example of CBS. CBS is a bit wider term, and again EIS is a much wider term which is very generic in nature. It caters to almost all industries. It caters to almost all organizations wherein they are using a centralized system, where they are using a single system. Okay, so this, if it is a EIS which is actually used by banks, it can be called as CBS. Okay, now again, for example, if it is, let's say, how many of you have heard about ERP? Do you know ERP? Yep, Pranav, you're right. Enterprise Resource Planning. Now, this is a very massive software which is used by mostly the manufacturers, the manufacturing concerns, and all. It integrates all the functions of marketing and sales, customer relationship management, supply chain management. Everything it integrates. Okay, so again, it is used mostly by manufacturers. So again, it is a type of EIS. So please understand, EIS is a very wide term, a very generic term, and now the kind of software which is actually used by different industries, we again come up with different names. Okay, so we have CBS, we have ERP, etc. Okay, so guys, this is the basic portion of what is EIS. I have told you, and now coming to the I just want all of you to come to the index page. Okay, yeah. If you can see that, yes, this is EIS book, and I want all of you to go to the index part. Okay, so in this particular subject, guys, we have to cover 5 different chapters. Okay, and I told you this enterprise information system. So first thing that we have to understand is we are going to learn about different information systems. Just for the sake of example, now core banking system is a chapter. Is it an EIS or not? This is an EIS used by whom? Yes, so we are going to learn about the EIS which is actually used by banks. Okay, I just told you about ERP and all. So let's see chapter number 2. We have finance and accounting system. Finance and accounting system. Okay, can anyone give an example of accounting system? Or maybe an accounting software? Tally. Okay, Tally is an example. Okay, and then when Tally also integrates most of the functions, it is called as Tally ERP. Okay, enterprise resource planning. So in this particular chapter number 2, we are going to learn about accounting software. We are going to discuss about ERP, enterprise resource planning. Okay, so please understand, guys, and let's say in chapter number 4, we are going to learn about the latest technologies, the latest information systems and all. Okay, so the entire why do we have this subject, I'm just going to answer that. Okay, so first we are going to understand the different information systems. Okay, And then we are going to understand, see, do you all agree with this, that these information systems are assets of the organization? Don't you think they are going to be really, really very costly? Yes, are these assets of the organization or not? Yes, okay. And when these, when I call information systems, let be it a hardware or a software, and when the management, the company pays so much amount to procure them, these are assets of the organization. Okay, so these are definitely the assets. Don't you think the management is going to have controls in place to protect these assets? I'll give you some examples. Okay, so what happens is management implements controls over these assets. Now, for example, is your laptop an asset to you, or is your mobile phone an asset to you? Yes, I hope everyone will answer this as yes. Okay, and okay, Sanjay, you have said yes. Okay, if you have a laptop, Sanjay, do you protect the laptop or not? Okay, so Sanjay, yes, I want you to keep your mic unmuted. Okay, so how have you protected your laptop, Sanjay? Antivirus. Okay, Sanjay has installed an antivirus in his laptop, so that the system doesn't catch viruses, and it's not affected by any kind of bad software. So he's installed an antivirus. So what I'm trying to tell you is, can I say this antivirus is a control for information system? Is Sanjay's antivirus protecting his system or not, protecting his laptop or not? Yes, so it is a control or not? Is it a control or not? It is a control. Okay, yeah, it is a safety measure. It is in EIS terms, or when you study audit also, we are going to understand this word, that we call it as controls. Okay, so management, yeah, Sanjay himself is going to implement the control to protect his laptop, right? So in organizations, management, they implement a lot of controls to protect the assets. Okay, I'll just give you a few more examples to understand the word controls. Okay, let's say you live in your house. Okay, your house, your home, it is an asset. Okay, and you have got a lot of belongings also. So when you sleep at night, don't you shut the door and you properly lock it and then sleep? Yes, why do you do that? Most of us do it, right? Why do we do that? Why do we lock our doors and then go to sleep? For safety purposes. Obviously nobody would want unwanted guests to come up at 2 a.m. and take away your things, right? So we lock the door, and we so that we can sleep peacefully and all, right? So is it a control or not? Yeah, we are trying to control unwanted people from entering into a house and taking our belongings, right? So it is a control or not? Yes, okay, all right. Now, okay, so yeah, Nandana, do you have a mobile phone? Obviously, I think you are using a mobile phone to access the lectures. Yes, so have you implemented any sort of control in your mobile phone, Nandana? Yeah. Okay, she is saying Kaspersky, the antivirus Kaspersky. Okay, apart from this, any other control? So Nandana, let's imagine a hypothetical scenario. Okay, I am sitting here and you are sitting right across the table. Okay, and you happen to go, let's say, to the cafeteria or maybe to the washroom, and you leave your phone on the table. What are the chances that I take up your phone and I enter and I open your WhatsApp and read your messages? I go to the gallery and I see your photos and whatever it is. Okay, what are the chances? Will I be able to access? Yes, so this is a control or not? You have implemented a control that you don't want third parties, you don't want unwanted people to access your data, you don't want them to read your messages, you don't want to get people, third parties read your messages or see your pictures or go through any of the files in your phone. So all of you, I believe you must have this PIN or maybe a biometric lock in your phones, yes or no? Yes, so yeah, okay. And how many of you have something like this as what do you call it, as a case, a bumper, or whatever it is called? How many of you have? Or let's say a tempered glass here. How many of you put? Yeah, so aren't you protecting your asset physically also from physical damage? You're protecting it from physical damage also, but by putting a password or by installing an antivirus, are you protecting it physically? Or you're protecting it logically. You're protecting it logically. When I say logically, it simply means you are protecting it in such a manner that nobody can access whatever is inside the phone. Nobody can access whatever is inside my laptop. So we have a lot of controls in place that we implement in our daily lives. Okay, so when I talk about ERPs, when I talk about softwares that cost crores of rupees, a big ERP software might cost 4 crores, 5 crore of rupees. Okay, so don't you think management is going to implement controls on the same? Yes or no? Management is going to try their best to protect this, right? Okay, so we are okay. So what happens is we are going to understand in this subject about information systems. Then we are going to understand about the necessary controls also, which the management should be implementing to protect their information systems. Okay, and that is why in this particular chapter, in chapter number 3, we are going to learn a lot about the controls. This chapter number 3, the institute's book, the name is Information System and its Components, but along with the components and all, we are going to understand a lot about the various controls which the management is going to implement in their information systems. Okay, and now please understand this, that you are going to be you have chosen CA as your profession. Okay, what has CA to do with this? Okay, so please try and understand. I'll give you a few reasons now why this particular subject is there in your course. Okay, very important to understand, because I have seen lot of students having carrying this notion in their minds that EIS is all about learning. We are doing CA, it has got nothing to do with CA, we are not going to be engineers. Why this particular subject is there in the course, all about computers, technology? Okay, so please understand guys, CA Institute is a very reputed institute, one of the most reputed institutes across the world. Okay, and if they have implemented, if they have incorporated this subject in your curriculum, there must be a reason behind it. Okay, they are not trying to unnecessarily harass you by incorporating aspects of engineering or totally with respect to IT in your CA syllabus. Okay, across the globe, if I take all the chartered accountancy course, this particular subject is there. Now why do you have to, as a CA, why do you have to cover or learn things about technology in your CA course? Can anyone answer this? Sorry, Sanjeev. Yeah, please answer, Sanjeev. Yes. Okay. All right. Okay. Superb, amazing, great, very well answered, Sanjit. What Sanjit has answered, let me just repeat it, guys. Sanjit has told that in the modern era, okay, most of the business houses, they are using technology to initiate the transactions, to record the transactions, to execute their business, to take majority of the decisions. Okay, and we as chartered accountants, we are going to be the auditors, or maybe we are going to be the consultants of that company, let's say. So we need to understand the technology. Absolutely, this is perfect answer. First reason. Okay, but okay, so I'm going to give you a few more reasons. Okay, so what I've done is I've just written 3 major points. There might be many other points, but what I feel, why has CA Institute incorporated this subject, it is perhaps because of these 3 reasons. What are the points? Let us understand. First is a basic reason, which Sanjit has very well explained. Okay, I have divided it into 3 parts. Basic, then we have financial statements audit. FS audit is financial statements audit. And then a third category, something very new to you, information systems or IT audit. Okay, so I'm going to go part by part. First point is very well explained by Sanjit. Also basic, I have also written the advances in IT have significantly changed the methods firms employ to gather and report information. So let's say we are going to be chartered accountants. Our main bread and butter is going to be audit. Okay, and let me tell you this, guys, that out of all the 8 subjects that you have, though I should tell this basically in your audit class, but because most of you are going to we are going to cover audit together only, so let me tell it to you here also, that out of the 8 subjects that you have in your CA inter syllabus or maybe in the finals, okay, audit is something which is going to be your bread and butter. Okay, if I put it in this way, that auditing is going to be the subject which is going to be your future, as in all the remaining subjects are actually in your syllabus, are being taught to you, so that ultimately you can do the audit in a proper manner, right? The institute doesn't want you to be expert in the field of costing. Who is an expert in the field of costing? It is not a chartered accountant, it is a CMA or a CWA, right? They don't want you to be an expert in FM. Who is an expert in FM? It is CFA or somebody who is doing MBA in finance. Okay, now they want you to be the experts in auditing, and if you want to conduct an auditing in a proper manner, right, you need to have knowledge of all these aspects. They are teaching you taxation, so that when in books of accounts provision of taxation is made, you should be in a position to understand that, okay, the provision of taxation is correctly made. That is why there is income tax law in your syllabus. Okay, or else income tax filing, it can be done by a non-chartered accountant also, but auditing is something which can only be done by a chartered accountant, right? So having said this, let me come to the EIS portion again. So what is happening these days when we audit? Okay, most of our clients are using technology. Most of the business houses are using technology, and if we don't update ourselves, guys, perhaps our client will never be satisfied with us. Perhaps if I go and tell my client that no, I don't understand this software of yours, we are going to lose credibility, right? He's going to say, what CA you are, you don't know all this. Okay, so the basic reason is that you need to update yourself with the latest technologies. All right, now second is FS, financial statement audit. This is what, guys, you are going to understand in your paper number 6 at the CA inter level. In your auditing subject, we are only going to discuss financial statements audit. Okay, so please understand, in paper number 6 what happens is, we check on the financial statements of an enterprise and we give an opinion whether the financial statements are giving true and fair view or not. Okay, maybe these are new words for you for the timing. If you have covered auditing earlier, then you will be able to understand, but please understand, we generally do the audit of financial statements. Okay, now if our client prepares all the financial statements, the PL, the balance sheet, the cash flow, the statement of changes in equity, the notes to accounts, everything is in system. They initiate all the transactions in the system. You should be having knowledge of the systems. Then only you will be able to do the audit, right? So the second reason why this particular subject is there in your curriculum is to basically help you do the auditing in a much better manner. Okay, so it is going to help you in doing the financial statements audit, and this financial statement audit, we are going to discuss this in paper number 6. Okay, and lastly, guys, we have one more area why this particular subject is there in your course, and this is relatively a new area, something which is different from the traditional practice which a chartered accountant does, and the field is called as information systems and IT audit, or let's say information technology audit. Information systems or information technology audit. Please understand, this is financial statement audit. Here our objective as an auditor, our objective is to express, I'll just write it in short, express an opinion. We just express our opinion on the financial statements. Express an opinion on financial statements. Okay, but when I say information systems or IT audit, what do we actually do? We, in this type of audit, we check that whatever controls, again let me take you to this portion, whatever controls management has implemented, on their information systems, whether it is adequate or not. We are going to check that whether the controls implemented by the management on their information systems are adequate or not. And when we do this, when we check on this aspect, this is called as information systems audit or information technology audit. So this subject is incorporated with the viewpoint to make you aware of this field also, that there is something called as information systems and information technology audit. Okay, and guys, if I tell you that I have an expertise in this area only. I am a certified information systems auditor by ISACA USA. I'm a certified information systems auditor, so this is my expert area. Okay, and of course I have been doing audit for last 10 years, auditing of financial statements. So again, this is also my expert area, and hence I am teaching both paper number 7 and paper number 6. Okay, CISA is basically a certificate which I possess. I gave the exams I think in 2016, and I was somehow I got a merit also. I was placed in top 20 in the world. This is a exam that is appeared by candidates worldwide. So I was placed in top 20 in the world. They don't give us a ranking as such or marks as such, but they just tell us that we have passed and this is your position. Okay, so I have my expertise in this area. Okay, now I'll just give you a simple understanding about it. Okay, now see guys, you all know that we are going to be the auditors, and I believe if most of you have not covered auditing yet, I'm assuming that you at least know that in audit what do? We check upon the financial statements, yes or no? We give an opinion on the financial statements. Do you agree with this, everyone? Yes? Okay. Now all right, so when we check upon the financial statements, or we say we are doing an audit. Okay, now how do you think these financial statements are prepared these days? How do you think the financial statements are prepared these days? Is it done manually, or is it through systems or computers? What do you think? Through computers. Okay, so there will be some technology, there will be some IT which is going to prepare the financial statements, and it is the financial statement that I'm going to audit. Okay, now imagine a scenario, guys. Imagine a scenario that this is an information system. This is an information system used by XYZ Limited. When I press 2 + 2 in this information system, it gives me a result of 3. When I enter 2 + 2 in this information system, it gives me a result of 3. I'm just giving you a hypothetical situation. Okay, now please answer the question. Okay, will you think that the financial statements prepared by such kind of system, will it be correct? Obviously the answer is no. The financial statements prepared by such kind of system, it is not going to be correct at all. Okay, and do you think that the auditor should audit such a financial statement? Do you think he should be wasting his time on auditing such a financial statement? Yes or no? Of course no. So what happens, guys, please understand, in bigger organizations, the organizations who use their own software or own technology to prepare financial statements, please understand this very carefully. Before the main auditing of financial statements starts, as a prerequisite to this, there is a team which goes and first audits the technology. They go and first do an EIS or IT audit to understand whether the system functions properly or not, whether the system gives 2 + 2 as 4 or not. And then only, if they are satisfied with it, then only they proceed with something which we call as financial statement audit. So in short, in bigger organization, I can put it in this way, that information system or information technology audit, it is a prerequisite. It is done prior to conducting of financial statements audit. Have you understood this part or not? Yes or no? Yes? Okay. So again let me just summarize things for you guys. Why are we studying EIS? So first is basic, we need to upgrade ourselves, simple. Second is so that we are able to do the financial statements audit properly. Okay, and financial statements audit, you are going to understand this in paper number 6, your auditing. Okay, and there is one more area wherein we can apply this knowledge, we can use this knowledge, and that is for IS or IT audit. What is the difference between these two? Last point that I want to discuss. What is the difference between these two? In financial statements audit, what is our objective as an auditor? You are going to be the auditor soon. As in financial statements audit, what is our objective? In financial statements audit, our objective is to express opinion on financial statements, whether financial statements are true and correct, true or fair or not, whether the financial statements are okay or not. But when I talk about IS or IT audit, it has got nothing to do with the financials. But what are we going to do here is, we give an opinion on what? Can anyone answer this? We give an opinion on? Yes, absolutely. Whether the controls which is implemented by the management are adequate or not. So guys, please now understand, okay, with this agenda, with this thing in mind, okay, where is it? Yeah, here. Okay, with this thing in mind, please understand, in this entire subject we are going to cover three aspects. We are going to first understand the different information systems, okay. I'm going to parallelly teach you the related controls also, and then when you understand the controls also, we are going to understand some aspects, though the aspect is very less here, some aspects relating to IS and IT audit also. Okay, so these are the three areas: information systems, control and audit, EISCA. Okay, these are the three areas that we have to focus upon in the subject of EIS. Okay, and I hope with this you have understood it well, that this course, this subject is not, you know, a harassment from ICI to the students. If you understand it well, this is going to be the future, guys. This is going to be the future. In future, IS and IT audit is going to be there almost everywhere. Okay, so with this aspect in mind, not only ICI but all other leading, you know, bodies in the world, like CPA and all, the UK, I should say UKCA, okay, for your understanding. Okay, everyone has incorporated this particular subject in their curriculum. Okay, so I believe, having understood this, all of you are going to take a lot of interest in the subject, and we all are going to understand it very, like I should say, wholeheartedly. Okay, and one thing again, before I close the introductory session, I want all of you, again, the ones who are going to watch it recorded, okay, please be very consistent in watching the lectures. Okay, I don't want you to have a gap whenever you're watching the lectures. When you start, make it a point to follow the schedule that will be provided to you, and secondly, do it on a daily basis, because what I feel is, if you have gaps, if you have a lot of gaps between lecture 1 and lecture 2 while you're watching, you lose interest, and there will be less of the linkage. You'll not be able to link the topics. Okay, but if you maintain the continuity, if you maintain consistency, perhaps in 30 days time, 25 days time, you'll be able to finish up with the subject also. Okay, and there will be a lot of, you'll be able to link the topics together, and your understanding is going to be a lot better. Okay, so I hope you are going to adhere to it. Okay, so this was all about the introductory part of EIS.